This is Office Talk with Annette Stepanian. Hey everyone, this is Annette Stepanian, and if you're listening to this means that our podcast has launched, and that makes me a very, very happy girl because this has been a dream of mine for at least a year and a half. It's been on my goals list, and I finally got to the point where I just thought, girlfriend, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. If you can relate and you have some goals on your list, I'm just going to repeat it back to you. Girlfriend, what are you waiting for? Just do it. I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce the podcast and also introduce myself to you. So up first, what is this podcast all about? Well, I'm a huge believer that you can learn from anybody, regardless of their rank, their role, their title in life. It really is something that has guided me throughout my whole life, and I feel the same way when it comes to entrepreneurs. During my entrepreneurial journey, I have had so many conversations with others, and there were so many times I would be on the phone with someone and I was just thinking, I wish we had recorded this. I wish this was a podcast episode because there were so many valuable nuggets and insight that I just wanted to share. And that really was the purpose behind the podcast. It's really to invite these people onto the show. I feel like these are people who have a lot of value to add, a lot of wisdom and inspiration to share. So I wanted to have those people on to share their story. So that's part of what you can expect from the podcast. Every other week, I'm going to be bringing you an interview with someone who I think is amazing, who I think is doing something cool in this world and has something to teach you. In between those interview episodes, I'm also going to be sharing some of my legal wisdom. If we haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, my name is Annette Stepanian, and I'm a lawyer for creative entrepreneurs. Now, before you hit the stop button, I do want to let you know that I get that the law is super boring, it's super not fun, but it's my mission to make it fun, make it approachable, because I know as a lawyer how valuable it is for you to have a proper legal foundation. So every other week, we're going to do what's called a Legal Quickie. And I know that kind of sounds nutty, but I like to make the law fun. And the Legal Quickie episodes are basically going to be short episodes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, where I'm answering a question from a listener. I get tons of questions from people all the time about different topics related to law and business. So this is what the Legal Quickie episode is going to be all about. If you have a question that you want me to answer in a future Legal Quickie episode, head on over to AnnetteStepanian.com/Q&A, and that's spelled out. So that's Q-A-N-D-A. And there's a form on there where you can submit your question, and I might pick it to answer it in a future Legal Quickie episode. So just a little bit about me before we head on to the first episode of the podcast. As I mentioned, my name is Annette, and I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I went to USC, so go Trojans, fight on! Although I do love Bruins as well, Trojans definitely have a special place in my heart. At USC, I studied business, and then I went straight on to law school. And after law school, I landed my dream job working at a national law firm in San Francisco. I was there for about 5 or 6 years, and like I said, it was a dream job. I was living in a dream city, but I just wasn't happy. How often have we heard this storyline, right? It's like, I think the plot line for I don't know how many movies where this lawyer is like not happy in their job and they quit. And they go and they discover their true selves later on. But anyway, so that was kind of what happened to me. I decided with the support of my dad and my family just to quit. And I was like, okay, I'm going to quit and then do what? And my dad was like, just do nothing. And I was like, do nothing? He's like, yeah, just stare at the wall if you have to. I later came to find out a quote from Winnie the Pooh that said, don't underestimate the value of doing nothing. I had never really taken time to figure out what I wanted out of life. And so I did that. And if you know lawyers, you know that that is the equivalent of jumping off the proverbial cliff. I had no backup plan. I had no idea what I was going to be doing next. So what I decided to do was travel and kind of have my eat, pray, love moment. And I went around the world. I came back and I knew I really wanted to start a business. And I didn't know what that business was going to look like, but I knew I didn't want it to involve law. I wanted it to be something creative. I wanted to deliver joy to people. So I started a jewelry line. I had no business starting a jewelry line because I had no training in it. I knew nobody in the industry, but it was an amazing experience. It really was like getting an MBA because I did every aspect of that business, from the design, from manufacturing, from sourcing, from sales, from legal, from accounting, marketing. And I think a lot of you guys listening can probably relate. You're probably running a one-woman or one-man show, and you have your hands in a whole bunch of different things. And that process, although it led me to realize that this isn't what I wanted to do, it really wasn't that what capitalized on my skill strengths, and it didn't really fulfill me the way I thought it would. It was an amazing experience because it built up my confidence, but more importantly, it led me to what I'm doing today, which is combining my legal skill set with my love for this creative entrepreneurial community. And now I am a lawyer for creatives and entrepreneurs, where I work with clients one-on-one or in online trainings or group programs or whatnot to really give them the foundation that they need to build in order to build a legally sound and solid business. So if you're interested in learning more, head on over to my website, AnnetteStepanian.com. And with that said, I hope you love this show. Please leave a review or subscribe or do both, and let me know what you guys think. As is true in most things in life, this is going to be an evolving process. I am so excited for this ride, and I can't wait to talk to you later.